Welcome back, guys, to another dividend portfolio update. So this is all the dividends I have received in the month of April. So let's go ahead and take a look at how the portfolio has been doing. So when we look at the 1 month view, if we take a look, we started off with like minus 8%. I think we were down in the portfolio somewhere thereabouts, and now we are at minus 2%. So we don't have many ETFs. We do have some small investment trusts, but most of our holdings, you can see over here, is based on Realty Income and Trig, Main Street, and then this one is the only one that sort of gives us some exposure to a sort of ETF. It's an investment trust that is also invested in some of the, Magnificent Seven stocks right there. So it's done well recently there, 8.6%. At least it's in the green. It hasn't not as well as a regular index tracking ETF, but at least it's in the green for me there. So if we take a look, we've got some holdings here, USGO. I'm just waiting for this one to go back into break even, take the money out and reinvest it into the dividend paying stocks. This one is also a fairly recent holding there as well, so I'll see where that goes. For right now, Diageo there, small holding, definitely won't be increasing it there because I want to reinvest it more so into the monthly dividend stocks, guys, to be honest, especially with the Realty Income and Main Street. We've got this one over here, Invesco Global Equity Trust. I do want to slowly increase that one. Currently it's at plus 10% there, which is nice to see. Let's take a look at the FX impact there. So FX impact is also green there, which is very rare. Let's go ahead and take a look at the dividends. So let's take a look at our first dividend player, which is going to be the monthly dividend Realty Income, and take a look at how much that paid us. So we have 38.5 shares at the moment. Our return is 14%, but we're negative 6% on the FX at the moment here. Let's go ahead and take a look at how much they paid us. So they gave two separate payments there instead of one payment. So after withholding tax rate of 15%, the first one comes out to €6.62 right there. And let's take a look at the next one. Next one is after withholding tax rate of 15%, 90 cents there. So that is nice to see there off of Realty Income. And then let's go ahead to our second monthly dividend player for that month. So we have 11.4 shares. We do have a buy order here as well that's set at a target price there at 53 to buy 2.1 shares. If it hits that, I'll be happy enough with that. But it looks like the shares have recovered there. Before they were just below my average buy price there. Let's go ahead, take a look at how much they paid us. And Realty Income has paid us €2.10 after withholding tax rate of 15%. You can see we did buy 0.2 shares there on the 16th of April there. So a small increase right there of our holdings. So that was our monthly players. And then I think we got a quarterly player from JGGI, JP Morgan Global Growth and Income Investment Trust, 77 shares here. And let's take a look at this one. So we got €5.08. Withholding tax rate is 0% from UK shares for myself over here. So that's pretty nice there. And all that adds up to €14.70 from for the month there, guys. So we've also ended the month on a relatively green period as well there. So that's nice to see. Okay, so if we go over to our Excel tracker and take a look at some of these graphs, the first chart we'll take a look at is the annual dividend. So if we take a look here, our 2026 year to date, we have received €81.16, which is more than halfway of what we got in 2025. So that's exciting there, seeing that sort of dividend snowball and compound each year. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next chart, our monthly dividends 2024 to 2026. And here we can see a nice view of the steady growth month over month and year over year of our dividends so far. You can see the very big bars over here are from Trig. We do have a massive holding in Trig, which is at a very low price at the moment, in my opinion there. So, and then let's go over to our next chart, which is dividend breakdown 2026 year to date of our little pie over here. And you can see realty income is 37% of our dividends that we have received so far. Main Street 14%, Trig 42%, and JGGI 6.3%. Pretty much these percentages are going to stay the same throughout the year, because that's sort of how my portfolio is broken down amongst these stocks right there. But let's take a look at the actual holdings, that the actual amounts that we have received so far from each of these stocks. So from Realty Income, we have received just over 30 euros there. Main Street, year to date, we've received just over 11 euros there, 11 euros and 56 cents. Trig, we received just over 34 euros right there. And then JGGI, small amount there. So our first quarterly payment is €5.08 right there. We got a small, very tiny amount from iGet right there. That's the Invesco Global Equity Investment Trust of 14 cents there. So if we take a look at our last chart over here, which is the monthly average dividends. So currently we are averaging about €6.76 so far year to date, and then last year we averaged €11 year to date right there, guys. Okay, so finally let's take a look at this tracker app from the App Store. You can see at the very top we've set ourselves a goal of reaching €30 per month average, and we are 92% of the way there. This app is telling us our yield on cost is approximately 7%, and our trailing 12-month yield is 7.15% there. 7.15%. That is primarily because of Trig. So our received income, we are expecting €320 for the rest of the year. We've already received €80 of that dividend. And if we take a look over here, so this is why I mainly use the app, because of this tracker. It is a free app, so there is now ads in it, but it's not too bad still here. So let's take a look over here. So if we go back over here, take a look. So there it was. So this app was estimating that we were going to get €14.90, pretty much accurate. It was just, I'd say, FX exchange rate fluctuations is that. And then if we take a look over here in May, so we are expecting just over €10 in May, €2.18 from Main Street Capital. And then Invesco Global Equity Trust, we're expecting just under 20 cents. And of course, once again, Realty Income going to come in and give us approximately €7.67. We're expecting a semi-annual payout from Puma. I think this is a semi-annual player there. Most of the European ones are semi-annual players. That's why I don't really go for them for dividends. So that is that. But then the following month over here, guys, so this is going to be a big one here. So we're getting a semi-annual payout from Diageo, 69 cents, better than nothing there. But then Main Street over here, we're getting €2.18. We're getting Realty Income, €7.67 once again. JGGI, €5.09. And then Trig, €44.74 approximately. And then, of course, an irregular dividend from Main Street right there, worth €3.40. So a lot of big players have giving out dividends in June, so that will be exciting to see. And that's going to be a record high for my portfolio, to receive over €60 worth of dividends in a single month. So definitely looking forward to that. And then we can just take a look at the next 12 months at the very top here, how it's going to be looking based on if I don't add any more to my holdings at the moment. So approximately €10 per month, and then the quarterly payments over €50 because of my holding in Trig. So guys, that's going to be it from me. That's all the dividends I've received. Looking forward to next month, and then of course June, the massive month of June. Let me know how you guys are getting along in your dividend journey, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.